All right, y'all, I'm back in Florida from Honduras. Um, yeah, had two really cool videos that I did in Honduras, updating my own property, of course, but also introducing Luis's property and talking about the projects that he's involved with. So very stoked to put those up, but they're longer and I'm gonna need to edit them and look them over and whatnot. So I can, put these together, these Florida update videos very quickly and easily, just like one take. So showing a little bit of the work that we've been doing since I've gotten back here at Mary's place, and it's a lot of banana management, of course, and turning an overgrown system like this. We've had an amazing summer so far. If I'm not mistaken, a record-breaking summer in terms of certain precipitation records, inches. Well, I don't know exactly what, but definitely we've had lots and lots of rain, and things have been growing amazingly crazy. So I'm just gonna go ahead and get into the workflow. So you can see that we've been doing a lot of banana thinning, pretty much keeping just about one mature banana and just a few pups. In this case, it's 2 mature bananas and just a few pups. Here you can see, especially if they're fruiting banana and then just a few pups. We're coming into fall, coming into winter, so we are giving all the energy to the one banana that's producing so that it can make it through the fall and winter and produce a good rack and not be competing with the other siblings. So that's what we're doing, but also we're utilizing all that banana biomass to help establish the new area. I'll show you this. This is a new area that we planted, and it's just a big long agroforestry row sheltering the more annual production, veg production. So this was definitely weedy when I first got back, and we cleaned up some of the weeds, did some of the organizing and stratification prunes, whatever, and just made a huge blanket of banana biomass with, of course, the pseudostems on the bottom and the leaves on top. So shout out to Jacob and Cameron for helping me do this. So we did this all in a matter of a few hours. I guess I'll stay this aside for the sun. Nice China berry. So yeah, you can see just the amount of biomass that came out of the thinning of the bananas back there. It's definitely a lot. And a lot has been growing as well, so we're stoked about that. These are the ones that need to get managed now, going forward. These are all agroforestry rows, and we're trying to keep the weeds at bay and trying for the trees to grow as fast as possible. So that's what we got to yesterday. And I think on today's little topic, I want to talk about how to manage labor and effort and energy when doing banana biomass. So we had 3 people yesterday, and we were able to get away with something like this that requires tons of energy and labor, because it's not easy hauling around banana logs longer distances. So I took advantage of having the help that day and prioritized that project that really needs to get done. It's always important to take from sources of high fertility like this already established system and use them for the new young systems that are dealing with weed issues and a lot of sunlight issues. So, but that's ideally you want to do that. But sometimes I always say life is not ideal, and you're gonna have to make the call to do something else when conditions are different. So of course we left a little bit of biomass on the ground that didn't get dragged over and utilized over there. And now that I'm just myself today, I'm not going to continue doing that project, even though we really need to get those rows nice and covered. You got to learn how to like dial it back, and when to call projects on and call them off, and when is it better to just utilize the biomass in these same rows, even though they don't need it at this point much anymore. But there's still trees that are like super, I'm always seeding things in here, like long-term stuff, things that can handle shade. For example, this one came up, I don't remember exactly, but I am pretty sure it might be gamboge, you know, the Garcinia, xantho, something. I think that's what my brain is telling me. So there's always new little things, even in this super established area, where, like, for example, this is a type of syzygium that's still a little young, that you can see I already put a lot of biomass earlier, a few months ago, but could always use more just to make it a focal point. You know, like, this is a tree that we really want to reinforce it. And of course there's always Suriname cherries and pineapples to do, since torpedo grass likes to creep around pineapples and stuff. And Suriname cherries take their sweet time kind of getting to height. So it's always nice to fall back on a plan like that whenever you have other stuff to do. Like, we have a storm coming this weekend, most likely, and all these bananas need to get propped up. You can see, especially after doing a bit of the extensive pruning that we did, the thinning of the bananas. You know, wind's going to be able to whip in here a lot stronger now, and we need to protect all these racks. And so that's going to be the main priority for today. So that's kind of just all I really wanted to touch on. Is there's always like triage that you need to do in agroforestry, and it's always good to not be super attached to one project. It's good to be able to bounce around and flow with whatever project needs to get done with whatever amount of labor you have for the day. So yeah, you can see the big difference of just, it looks more commercial in a sense, like just the banana rack and one pup or two. A lot of airflow in here now, a lot of sunlight. We barely did any, we barely like scratched the surface. There's so many more bananas in there. So yeah, this noni is able to really do its thing and really fill that space up. The corymbias are finally starting to take off. A lot of these pineapples are able to get some love. So even though we are heading into fall and winter, we still want to open this up, because this is just a very dense system in general. So as long as you can keep up with the system, I think that's kind of the best decision making you can do. So yeah, we're trying to get ahead of it, even though there's a storm coming and there's going to be a lot of wind whipping through. But in agroforestry, the most important thing is just getting ahead of your maintenance. So that's what we're doing, and thought I'd just give that little tiny update. Yeah, a lot of racks to support and help out. Really nice sensation under here after pruning so many at one time. And then I'll just go real fast to a more shady, like stuffy part of the system. Yeah, like maybe here. This is fine too, but this is also could get too shady too fast. The pies are doing pretty decently even in the shade. It's cool because their top leaves are able to get the sunlight from the very top. And so that's a cool little adaptation. So yeah, you can see just how many are this clumped up in there, and see this guy leaning hard already. So yeah, that's it. Quick, tiny little update here at Mary's. This coconut is flowering. Super cool. And already setting. It's amazing. Super stoked about that. All right, anyways, I'll get back to you soon enough. So we got some of the bananas propped up, and that's how it's looking. Just a rough draft for now. I usually like having help from somebody else to sort of firm them up, get them into their final spot where they're nice and tight and not moving around at all. So, but you get the idea. So yesterday's priority was the new area, getting biomass there, and today's priority is staking up these bananas and making sure we have a crop for the future, especially on some of the Pisang Ceylons, the Mysores, as they're very, very wimpy and skinny, and like just they're always the first ones to fall over in the slightest bit of storm conditions. So definitely put stakes for those. The dwarf walls are a little bit tougher in terms of wind disturbance, but still put a little something just because they are heavy at the end of the day. Some of them are bamboos, some of them are like 2x4s, or pieces of lumber, I should say. And yeah, that's kind of it for the day. See if I can get one more here. All right, I already showed this. But yeah, that's what we got.